Everything I ate on travel day from Indiana to Key Largo. For breakfast, we ate at Qdoba in the Detroit airport. Chicken, eggs, queso, pico, onions, a lot of cilantro that I had to remove. It was fine, but honestly, I should have got a burrito. We landed in Miami and then we drove the rest of the way to Key Largo. And it wasn't quite time to check into our resort, so we stopped at Salty's Bar and Grill. And everything in Key Largo is basically on the water because it's surrounded by water. We were staying at an all-inclusive resort, which was going to have a ton of food, so we just got a couple of appetizers. First were these bacon-wrapped jalapeno poppers, and it came with a Southwest sauce. Both were good. And then we got these Jamaican jerk chicken wings. Super flavorful, spicy, tangy. They also had like an apple cider taste to them. Then for dinner, we had a reservation at one of the restaurants at the resort we stayed at. It was a full 4-course meal. It started with bread, then you got a starter, an appetizer, an entree, and then dessert. And I know it's annoying, but I'm going to do a separate video specifically for this restaurant because I have a lot to say about this stuff and I didn't want to skimp over it for you. Did I try all these desserts? Yes. Eating a 4-course meal at an all-inclusive resort in Key Largo. The restaurant is called Fishtails. It's at the Bungalows Resort. And listen, I'm not a fancy person. I don't know if this is 4-course or 5. Or maybe it's 3. I don't know what actually counts as a course. We first got an assorted bread basket that came with oil and vinegar. Then for the starters, my husband got a Caesar salad that had a lot of Parmesan, which he loved. And then I got the caprese tower. It came with these little pearls that I thought were caviar, but they were actually balsamic glazed pearls. Everything was so fresh and simply tasty, if that makes sense. Then for the appetizer, we got the stuffed shrimp, and it was basically a crab cake inside of shrimp, and then it had this lemon butter sauce over it. That was just so good. It was creamy and buttery, but then it was somehow light and fresh from the lemon. Then for my entree, I went with the Chilean sea bass that had asparagus, and it was served over a bed of purple mashed potatoes. It also had a lot of that lemon butter sauce that was so good. The sea bass was just so buttery and flaky. It was one of my favorite meals, if not my favorite meal this whole trip. Then they had a massive dessert bar, which I only got one thing off of it because we were trying not to feel like miserable. So I just got one of these little fruit tarts, but then the server knew my husband's birthday was coming up, so she made us a giant plate of desserts, which we obviously had to try everything. And the best thing was the little tiny brownie. It was so chewy and just rich and good. Everything I ate our first full day at an all-inclusive resort in Key Largo. For breakfast, I just did the buffet. I really like their yogurt, their bacon, and their sausage. Then we did a poolside lunch where we got these crispy chicken bites and this Baja fish wrap. It had fish, a mango black bean salsa, tomato lettuce, and then chipotle aioli. It wasn't the prettiest, but it was super fresh and tasty. But these chicken bites were ridiculous. They were so crispy. I've never had Korean fried chicken, but this is what I think it would be like. So crispy and sweet and spicy from the sweet chili sauce. Then our dinner reservation was at the fancy restaurant. It's called and because even the drinks were their own experience. Started off with super soft rolls and then shrimp cocktail that they made extra spicy with a lot of horseradish in the middle. So fresh, and the shrimp were giant. And again, this is all inclusive. You can order whatever food you want and you don't pay extra for it. And we didn't want to overdo it. That was all we ordered for the starters, but our server treated us like royalty and kept bringing us food. I did, however, order the crispy Brussels sprouts. I can't not order them. They had bacon and a sweet chili sauce, so they were spicy, sweet, and salty. Then for my main meal, I got the lobster thermidor, which unfortunately I hated. It had anise in it, which is a black licorice taste. Loved everything else though. Everything I ate at an all-inclusive resort in Key Largo. For breakfast, I did a veggie omelet and then a smoothie. We had lunch at the tiki bar where we had steak skewers and shrimp lettuce wraps. The steak bites came with radish, pickled onions, guacamole, and then cilantro. You guys, I don't know what's wrong with me. I hate cilantro, and it just dawned on me that I can ask for no cilantro. The steak looks like it was tough, but it wasn't. It's just because I have braces and I was trying to eat meat off of stick. Super juicy and really good with all the fresh toppings. And the shrimp wraps were pretty similar. It had all the same toppings except for it had big pieces of fresh avocado in it. Both were really simple and just had super fresh, tasty ingredients. Then our dinner reservation was at the Mexican restaurant. It's called Si Senor. Typically this is outside, but it was very windy because there was a hurricane. We had chips, salsa, and then their cheese dip. Their chips were ridiculous. They were so good. They were really thick, almost like a pita chip, and had tahini on it. I also had a cute little tahini rimmed margarita. Then for my main meal, I had the carne asada. It was similar to the steak bites I had for lunch. Maybe even the same thing. I don't care. They were both so good, and this meal came with tortilla, rice, and beans, so it was different. And yeah, that's all for today. Love you. Bye. Everything I ate my last day at an all-inclusive resort in Key Largo. I just had a smoothie for breakfast, and then the rest of the meals we had at the tiki bar. First, I had chips and salsa with guacamole. I love these chips. They're thick, and I think they have tahini on them. They're really good. I had them twice this trip. Also had some buffalo wings. They were nice and buttery. That's what I like. And they had really good ranch. The wings were nice and tangy and juicy. And then I ended up dipping my chips in the ranch. I literally ate that whole basket of chips. Everything was just so fresh. This was the perfect lunch. Then later for dinner, we went back to the tiki hut where I had a cheeseburger with sweet potato fries that came with chipotle aioli. Typically, the tiki bar would have all of the doors open, but behind me you can see the plastic that they had down. It was when we were closest to the hurricane, so it was very, very windy this day. The burger had an onion bacon jam, I think it was, and then cheese, and I got tomato on it. The burger was huge, and then the onion jam was so sweet. Then dunked on the chipotle aioli was a game changer because it was so tangy and a little bit spicy with the sweetness of the onion jam. Perfection. Then we've been on a Caesar salad kick lately, so we also got a Caesar salad with blackened chicken, which was also tasty. We really loved it here. I can't wait to go back. Come with me to tour the Bungalows Resort in Key Largo. When you stay here, you get your own bungalow, as well as the bungalows come with 2 bikes to pedal around the resort. Inside, you get a seating area, obviously your bed, and then a full bathroom. But then you also get this private back patio area where there is a seating area, a table, as well as a soaking tub and a shower. My husband uses this every single day. And I cannot say enough good things about the housekeeping. They cleaned and stocked our rooms twice each day. This was the view from our front porch. We chose a garden view. They also beachfront, but we wanted some privacy as well as some shade from the sun. They have 2 pools. This was our favorite one. There was never anyone swimming in it when we were here. Both the pool and the hot tub were fully surrounded by trees. We came here 2 or 3 times a day, and I think we only swam with other people twice. This was the main pool. It's an infinity pool. It also had a hot tub. This was busier, and they also had little cubbies with TVs and couches you could sit in. Hurricane Helene was going on during this time, so I don't know if that's why it was slower, but there was no one there when we were there. There were 2 different beaches, very much man-made. Like, you could tell there was paving under the sand, which I didn't mind. I don't like walking through thick sand. They also had a tiki hut bar that we visited once or twice a day, and the resort was even more beautiful at night.